Hello, my name's Jason. I'm a 29-year-old schizophrenic person who enjoys life. Sorry that I'm not making eye contact with the camera. I'm butting a cigarette, which I smoke often. Yes, the same cigarette. I, le- I lived a pretty ordinary life. Started working for the St. Catharines Standard, delivering newspapers at grade 6, and kind of did that as after kind of like my school hobby or my hobby outside of school, and everything was going good. And then I didn't hear any voices since that night, my first night in St. Catharines. And then when I started to hear voices again, I was 25, so that's about 20 years of not hearing voices. If I recall that first night again, we, me and the voice, and other people that I didn't know, were basically planning out our future.
Who's our future?
The people I didn't know, like the people that I heard that night.
Okay.
I don't know if they heard me, but I heard them, and everyone basically was doing pretty good, except for myself because I was doing a lot of listening instead of thinking. And then I started to think, and once I started to think, I fell asleep. And
Okay.
then when I heard the serial killer talk like right beside my ear, I got a little jumpy and nervous and everything like that, and said to my dad, "So there's two murders and a serial killer."
So three people total?
At the time, I was laying in my bed one night, and I got really hot, and something, I don't even know what it was. I can't say something because I didn't see anything, but there was, I got hit in the head by something, and it scared me, and I kind of splashed out of my my blankets and onto the floor, kind of like an alligator would splash in water.
Mm.
And well, a happy alligator would splash in water.
Okay.
And my dad was saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I think I'm an alligator." Like I think I got my mind got linked up with an alligator. And so he's like, "What? What?" And I'm like, "I think I'm an alligator." Like I knew that I was a human and everything, but I think like an alligator and I linked up.
Are your past life you were an alligator?
Yes. And so he's like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" I was like, "Well, what can we do?" And he's like, "Well, we can go to the emergency room." I said, "Okay, let's go." So we did that, and I spent one night in the hospital and got put under the psychiatrist at the hospital,
Okay.
and so he
Which
got
hospital did you go to?
St. Catharines General Hospital,
Okay.
and the psychiatrist talked to me in the morning because it was pretty late at night when I arrived at the hospital. So he let me, like, he asked me a couple questions while I was in the in the patient room, and he told me that I was going to Hampton or that I could go home.
You're 2 months in the psych ward. What were you doing there for 2 whole months? Were you just
Uh,
playing video
no,
games, running around?
I was watching TV.
Were you on any medication for the 2 months?
They injected me with what I later found out was purportal, and
Well,
an old medication for schizophrenia people.
you're 2 months in the St. Catharines psych ward. Were you hearing voices?
No, no. Well, actually, there was one day where I woke up eating my breakfast and I heard, "I'm gonna kill you." So I went to the nurse and said, "I'm hearing a voice and it's saying I'm gonna kill you." And the nurse misinterpreted or whatever he did, and he said, "Well, don't kill me." And I kind of stood up and like stood up straight and said, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm hearing I'm gonna kill you." It's like, "Okay, go back to your room." So I went back to my room, and he he called a cold white on me, which means like a disturbance in the hospital, like. And then they injected me with another tranquilizer, which put me out for 24 hours. And then I just basically kept silence, like I didn't tell the nurse, the psychiatrist, nothing.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to get another tranquilizer.
What, the tranquilizer hurt?
It's like a needle in your arm, but it's in my hip.